Recipe for Disaster by Miriam Morrison. Read by Suzy Aitchison. Chapter 1. Ready to order? Somewhere, buried under the avalanche of newspapers on the floor, was the menu. Kate could distinctly recall giving it the briefest of glances before plunging happily into her favourite column in The Guardian. She smiled apologetically at the hovering waitress and quickly ducked under the table to retrieve it. Kate was a tall girl, and the table was small. Wedged beneath it, she glanced over and saw that the elderly couple at the next table were furtively holding hands. Very sweet. Celebrating their diamond anniversary? New lovers? A secret affair? Kate smiled as she rooted around the newspapers strewn over the floor. There was a time and place for indulging journalistic curiosity, or incorrigible nosiness, as her brother put it. But underneath the table probably wasn't it. Her very bright blue eyes were just inches away from Jonathan's expensive grey socks and immaculately polished shoes. You could tell at a glance that they belonged to an ambitious man who wouldn't dream of holding hands under tables, she decided. "Jonathan, move over!" She could just see a corner of the errant menu underneath the Times and Jonathan's foot. What?" he said absently, his rather sharp nose deep in a story on page 4 of the Mail. Kate sighed. His intense interest in anything newsprint-related was one of the reasons she had fallen for him, but it was rather hot under here, and she was getting a crick in her neck. Kate tugged, finally pulled the menu out, and straightened up rather too quickly, banging her head on the table in the process. She rubbed it with one hand, using the menu as a fan to cool her red face with the other. The waitress shifted her not inconsiderable weight from one leg to the other and gazed glumly into the middle distance, as if she was waiting for a bus she just knew was going to be late. "So," she said again, sighing. I think we are both going to have the lamb, aren't we?" Kate said. "Are we? Yeah, okay." Jonathan rustled the paper in agreement without even looking up, clearly expecting her to make this dull but necessary decision, and do it quickly if possible. The waitress frowned. This was an expensive hotel restaurant, and it simply wasn't the done thing to be so casual about choosing one's food. She whipped out her pad and wrote busily. 2 lamb cutlets. Would that be the côtelettes des Ardennes, with a reduction of cauliflower juice, or the Herdwick spring ewe poached in a mint sauce? Kate wanted to giggle. She was reminded suddenly of a maths class, a question to do with logarithms and her absolute certainty that whichever answer she gave would be wrong. But the waitress's pen was tapping in an intimidating way. "Oh, well, one of each, please." Then at least they could swap. "With the green salad of locally grown lettuce or a medley of winter vegetables sautéed in olive oil, parmesan and fresh rosemary." "What a feast we have in store," said Kate rather faintly. Both, I think." The waitress said nothing, but her eyebrows rose just slightly, as if she was making a mental note of the sarcasm. Kate bristled. After all, they were paying, weren't they? But then she remembered that Jonathan didn't like scenes, so she rearranged her mouth back into a smile. "Do you want the lamb medium or well done?" "Oh, for goodness sake!" Jonathan's face popped over the paper. "I just want lunch, not a game of 20 questions. He produced that harumphing noise that Kate hated because it made him sound a lot older than he was. The waitress's face managed to convey that she couldn't care less what they ate, that serving them was beneath her anyway, but if waiting was what she was paid a pittance to do, then she would have to suffer the consequences. Kate took charge. "We'll have one rare, the other well done, and," she glanced at her watch, "as quickly as possible, please. Oh, and 2 more beers." The waitress took off at a clip, watched anxiously by Kate. A word in the chef's ear and poaching cutlets would become a very long process. And how many times could someone sneeze in the salad before it reached them? Oh well, too late to worry about that now. "So, which of this lot do you think covered that story best?" she asked, peering curiously round Jonathan's arm to look at his tabloid.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?